Hello and welcome to Middle Class Film Class Podcast. My name is Joseph.
I'm Peter.
I'm Tyler.
And this week, the Wheel of Destiny landed on my pick, You Were Never Really Here.
State Senator Albert Vato. His teenage daughter's missing. He got an anonymous text with an address.
They said you were brutal.
I can be.
I want you to hurt them.
Get up, can you hear me? My name's Joe. It's okay, come here. Close your eyes.
Where are you going?
Taking you to your dad.
13 Sergeant 1 Central.
You got it. Don't worry. I'll get her.
It's okay, Joe.
But it really wasn't.
It's not okay.
It's really not.
Hey, Joe.
Surprised they didn't put any of that cool soundtrack in that trailer.
Yeah.
Synth pop.
Yeah, there was a lot of interesting music choices in this movie that I was not sure of when I was watching it. But there was a lot of great atmospheric music in it as well that was disturbing. But I'm excited to talk about this movie. Hope you guys enjoyed it a little bit.
Man, I'm just gonna say it. I love this movie.
Oh, okay.
We're getting into ratings already. Okay.
But first,
Are you ready, kids?
Yes, sir.
Ice!
I can't hear you.
Ice.
Oh!
Now's the time for gab and chatter.
I visualize the pirate every time that thing comes on too, and Robert Pattinson sitting there all angry.
still think there could be some adjustments made to
Yeah.
that a little bit.
Yeah, we can tweak around with it.
What? It's perfect the way it is.
So interesting week we've had in the world. Anything you guys feel like you need to bring up?
I'm excited for the hopefulness of things reopening and maybe getting back out into the theaters. And some things are opening in California this week. We're almost opening just about everything.
Yeah.
With a ton of restrictions. I mean, restaurants are happening and bars, gyms.
Yeah, gyms, schools. Although I don't know what schools are open now anyway, since it's now officially summer break.
Yeah, all the flunkies that are in summer school.
Summer
right now.
school is all the kids who had to go to summer school are like, Dad, damn it.
I know, now you have to actually be there. No, it is interesting, and I thought about how movie theaters fit into all this, and just really ready for Tenet and to come on board.
Yeah,
and maybe I'm thinking about a couple things. I'm curious if they're going to re-release the movies that weren't released in theaters, like The Green Knight. Are they going to do a theatrical release for
it
some
still
of the better
hasn't
ones?
premiered.
Exactly. I don't know, is that something that they're going to do? If the stuff that went straight to VOD, are they going to do a theatrical release for? And are they going to just take out of commission a third or a fifth of all the chairs or whatever, the seats in the theater, and space everything out?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
I don't think so, honestly. I think they're just gonna oh yeah, these movies they yeah, we cancel them. Here's some new movies.
They had their chance.
Just for exactly. That's
Tough titty, sorry.
I mean, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from all the news of this movie is being pushed back or it's being canceled. Well, not canceled, I guess postponed would be.
Yeah, I mean, the
more...
first instance of postponement was the 007 movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that was one of the first movies, and then I can't remember the other one. That was
Pocahontas? No, Mulan.
Mulan.
Sorry.
Pocahontas.
Sorry, Disney. Strong female character of color.
Yeah, I think it was Mulan. But
and the Black Widow Marvel movie. That one got pushed back.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
Well, as far as actual movie news, James Cameron is reassuming production on Avatar 2.
You remember Avatar?
I saw some production stills.
Yeah.
Or not production stills, but behind the scenes pictures of him filming in a pool surrounded by green screen.
Well, as of 5 days ago, of this recording, James Cameron goes into a 14-day government supervised quarantine in New Zealand. Right?
Government supervised?
Yeah, before he can resume production, they want to make sure that they're taking everything seriously.
Well,
and I think New Zealand is one of the.
New Zealand is like almost free of,
I think
of corona.
I think that's the point. Is they want to know everybody who's coming from the other side of the world, bringing in the Rona.
Yeah,
they can make sure that they aren't contagious.
Now that could be a comedy movie. James Cameron stuck in a house with a government agent.
It's the terminal.
Yeah, say the terminal. Yeah. I mean, New Zealand is very very strict about what you can bring in. Like when I went there, I had to go through customs. They inspect your boots, your hiking boots. If you have any hiking equipment,
leeches or bugs or something.
They don't want you to bring like or any other soil to their soil.
Even soil?
Yeah.
No cane toads. You can't bring any cane toads.
No.
That sucks.
No. Yeah. You can't. Yeah. It's
cancel my vacation then.
I mean, because everybody goes there for the natural.
Yeah.
Like fauna that is there, and I mean, it's very beautiful there.
I don't want it fucking up.
I mean, we don't want to end up like Hawaii where there's no native plants there.
Yeah, or like 100,000 chickens.
Yeah, yeah.
And where you go in Hawaii, there's a throng of chickens. It's like playing Zelda.
Yeah.
So also, Ari Aster has announced his upcoming project, unnamed so far, but the genre is he's calling it a nightmare comedy. And
4 hours.
He plans
that was already Midsummer.
Yeah. And he does plan on it being 4 hours.
Jesus.
So he already released a over 3 hour version of Midsummer, the director's cut.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised at that. I don't think it'll make a 4 hour cut in theaters.
No, there's no way.
It'll be volume 1, volume 2.
Oh no, they're gonna kill Bill it. So that should be interesting. I'm looking forward to anything Ari Aster does.
Yeah, I'm curious as to where he goes with, because he did Midsummer, which is like a breakup movie, really.
Yeah.
And Hereditary, which is just a family drama.
Yeah, like just
with an asterisk though, family drama with an asterisk.
With an aster.
Ooh, got him. That was good. Subscribe to Middle Class Film Class. Get more of this quality garbage.
Yeah, you know.
Perfect. So yeah, those are the couple of news stories I was excited about. And I've been watching until like on Just Watch for the release date of VOD for The Green Knight, because there are reviews, like early reviews of some people that have seen early screeners of it supposedly. Yeah. And I'm just really ready for that.
Come on, just put it on a streaming service.
Yeah,
It's not going to make money at the box office anyway. I don't know what their holdup is. Like,
well, Pete's Dragon made a bunch of money. That was David Lowery. It's basically the same movie.
Isn't that interesting? The same director of Pete's Dragon.
Yeah.
Comes The Green
Pete's
Knight.
Dragon.
Supposedly he made that movie because it was going to, he was offered it and it was going to be a success, by all standards.
Disney movie.
Yeah. It's kind of a slam dunk. And then he used that money that he made from that to make a Ghost Story, which was fucking great.
It was.
And probably didn't do great at the box office. I can't imagine that movie does.
No.
I can only imagine like people are sitting in the theater and you're just like some bro guy. He's like watching it. He's just like, why the fuck aren't they talking?
I know. I thought there was gonna be ghosts in this.
Why is it filmed weird? It looks like an Instagram post.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's all I got for news.
So I guess it's it is news. I just found out today that Governor Gavin Newsom of California, he is saying that film production can resume on June 12th.
I literally just saw that.
Yeah,
minutes ago.
Breaking news.
That's next Friday. This coming Friday.
So he's leaving it up to the industry to regulate themselves on social distancing or whatever, which they're not going to do.
No sex scenes.
Yeah, they're not.
No touching.
Yeah, except
they're going to be like the sex scene in Demolition Man.
Oh, yeah.
Or Coneheads when they put the sensory rings on their head.
So, I mean, there's a little glimmer of hope for seeing new films.
Yeah.
I am concerned though, just because with all the reopenings happening, like I feel like it's just kind of like, oh well, if they die, it's what Drago says. Yeah,
He dies.
yeah. There's no stopping this plane. Other than that, though, I have a conspiracy theory regarding Tenet.
Please. I want to hear this.
Wait, conspiracy theory or just a theory?
Well, I take it as what you will. Conspiracy theory, regular theory, you know. So with the new trailer, it was very bold in saying coming to theaters at the end.
Yeah.
With no release date or anything, but it's just like very adamant that it's coming into theaters.
Yeah.
And so my theory is that Christopher Nolan is putting money in the pockets of politicians to reopen early so he can show his movie, because he is that passionate about the experience of Tenet that needs to be the way that he wants it seen. And so
You think
there's a shadow budget.
You think Nolan and Newsom? You think it's gonna be Christopher Nolan's gonna be his vice mayor or governor when he runs next year?
Just watch. He's going to be in politics soon.
He can't. He's not an American citizen.
What?
Is he South African or something?
Well, he's British.
Is he?
He's British?
That makes sense. I guess
following
his first movie was British. We followed it on this podcast.
Oh God, I forgot.
I always get him and Tom Ford mixed up.
Oh,
So
Yeah, I mean they're two white guys. So.
is Tom
Really
Ford
easy to-
British?
I think he's American.
Well,
Ford.
Yeah.
Ford, regardless,
Tom
though.
Henry Ford.
I mean, I don't really believe that, but I kind of do. I don't. But
Believe what you want. I like your theories.
I just thought it would be a funny thought that there's like a shadow budget for Tenet like that. I
Just
think
put it off to the side.
Yeah, they're just like
It's called advertising.
Yeah, it's called advertising, but they're bribing politicians to reopen so they can show the movie.
You think that the Chinese government doesn't bribe filmmakers to take anti-Chinese propaganda out of movies?
Well,
It happens
just adds
all the time.
It just adds credit to this theory.
All the time. You don't even want to see the original cut of Kung Fu Panda 3 before the Chinese government got involved. It was crazy.
But yeah, other than that, that's really all I have. I don't really have
This
any
news.
Yeah, it's news.
Conspiracy theories.
You heard it here first. Newsom and
Newsom and Nolan.
yeah,
Newsom and Nolan are in
bed,
cahoots.
in bed together.
Joseph,
Yeah.
you got some?
So
Oh,
not
got
a
a little
lot.
nugget?
There's a lot of stuff going on in the world
There is
today. One thing that I just saw recently was that the movie Just Mercy, starring Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx, has been made free to rent by Warner Brothers
Yeah, I saw that. It's pretty cool.
for I think a month.
just 1 month.
Yeah, I guess. You
Huh.
know,
All right.
so that anybody can watch it, because the story is about Michael B. From what I understand, Michael B. Jordan plays a lawyer who is trying to change the way society, or I guess looked at. I mean, it's a specific case. Jamie Foxx plays like somebody who I think murdered somebody, or maybe he was wrongly accused. I'm not exactly sure on the story, but he's trying to get him off the death penalty, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Of death row, like he's still a person, even though like it takes place in like the 60s, I think, when like civil rights is still a big issue, and it's obviously still a big issue.
He's trying to get him tried as a 23-year-old white woman.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just something I saw. And then another thing that I thought was kind of cool was that Josh Gad has been doing a lot of these cast reunions via Zoom meetings. Like he's done, he did the Goonies.
Have you seen any of those?
I've seen one in particular because it's the only one that interested me.
Is he a good host?
Yeah.
Because I know that Joel McHale did the same thing with the Tiger King wrap up. They released the bonus episode, and he was the de facto host and just sitting on his couch. talking to all these characters from the show.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's a pretty good way to keep yourself busy as a celebrity during the shutdown. But
Yeah.
Josh
I wouldn't
Gad
call Joel McHale a celebrity, but
he's a celebrity. He's on a Community. He's his own show on.
you remember Community?
Everybody watches that.
Yeah.
That's why it's still on, right?
Yeah. Damn Chevy Chase.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool because it's just they're just kind of they read the lines, like they do table reads of,
that's
of
cool.
the movie. Like, and the most recent one is that he reunited the cast of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
All of them.
That's cool.
That's cool.
All of them. I'm not actually, you know what? Not Elrond, I don't think.
Ron wasn't in there?
Not Hugo Weaving.
Oh, that's cool.
Peter Jackson was there.
That's cool.
They gave some little insights to the production. Yeah, everybody's there. All the main players, Vigo, Orlando.
Was Treebeard there?
No.
Oh shit.
Not a main player. Vital role, not a main player. Yeah, Elijah Wood, Sam Gamgee, Sean Astin, Pippin, and Marion Pippin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody. It was cool. Yeah, it's like an hour and it's on YouTube. Anybody can watch it.
That's awesome.
It's like an hour.
I thought it was like
you
you had to like subscribe to something or like
No.
buy it or something. It's just on YouTube.
Yeah, it's just on YouTube.
Sweet.
Yeah, and he's done a few other ones. Can't think of which ones he's done. He did Back to the Future.
Oh.
And just
Insert Parkinson's joke.
yeah.
Please no.
Yeah. So yeah, just check those out. They're just kind of like
Just search
Well,
Josh Gad.
while everybody's quarantining.
What is it? Cast.
I'm sure it'll pop up immediately.
Yeah.
It's on his YouTube channel. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So yeah, while everybody's quarantining, they're getting creative with trying to keep everybody entertained, even though like nobody's quarantining anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have.
They're just like, sorry, Grandma, we need our haircuts.
I really need a haircut.
Great Clips is open.
Is it?
At least in Sacramento.
Oh my god. I'm like
Yeah,
looking at my
right.
hair in the mirror and thinking, I think I'm just gonna ride this thing out for the rest of my life.
I know, maybe
never
too.
cut my hair.
I'm
again.
like, I really want to shave my head.
No.
Oh yeah, do it.
If I can't get a haircut,
Shave your head.
then
Please DM me on Instagram saying that you do not agree with this.
That's no. I DM me on the Facebook page.
didn't you shave your head?
That's different.
You have longer hair than Joseph does.
I'm never, it was a mistake. After I did it, I immediately regretted
Yeah,
it.
but my hair, will grow back in like 6 months.
I got a lumpy head. I don't think I had too many head injuries as a child.
And yeah,
I mean, I've had a buzz cut once in my life, but that was because I had lice.
Ooh, that's fun.
Ew.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh, ew.
Yeah, and that was a little kid, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah,
But
really.
now, I like, part of me is like, I have the genes where I'm not worried about going bald.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm like,
What happens
what if it triggers?
when that happens? What if it triggers it when you shave your head?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go skin bald. I wouldn't become a skinhead, but it would just be a buzz cut.
How could you not, after giving yourself a buzz cut, not shave it with the Bic? You couldn't Bic it.
Oh no!
You have to.
No.
At what other time in your life could you ever see yourself as a skinhead?
Think about the ingrown hairs.
Oh god.
I know ingrown hairs in your neck are bad enough.
I don't want to be like chemo patient.
I think it would look sweet. I think it'd make you look like you're from the future,
I don't want to look like it.
or like straight out of the Matrix.
I don't know exactly the shape of my head
do your eyebrows too.
underneath my hair.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like looks bad and I would look like an alien or something.
Hey, give it 2 weeks, you'll have fuzz again.
I mean, I wear hats a lot.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
wear hats a lot now because my hair is fucking long.
I've never seen your hair unkempt before. I gotta say, it's a new
That's
side
true.
of you.
It's just
He's a very well groomed
I mean,
man.
every other day when I'm like wake up.
I've never slept over at your house before.
Yeah. Tyler has.
Many times.
You guys want to do some streaming picks? I got a couple.
Yes.
Okay, sweet. Let's see where we go. I think there's one worth mentioning. It's not gonna be for everybody. The visuals are very cool, but I'm recommending this to Tyler. It's on Shudder.
Uh-huh.
It's called Blood Machines. You seen anything about this?
I've never heard of it, but it sounds like right up my alley.
It's actually a song from Death Clock, but they turned it into
a movie.
Not really. Just
I was
kidding.
I was reading the description of this movie, and I was like, Blade Runners.
I didn't know what they meant by Blade Runners, but it's really, they're like mercenaries, like kind of like space mercenaries.
Okay.
And it's not amazing, but the visuals are really fantastic. So it's almost like you could take, it's a Canadian French movie or Canadian French movie, but they speak English, and the dialogue,
French accents.
No, they have pretty good English accents,
Oh, okay.
but it's like they're kind of like their cadence and parsing is very weird. Yeah.
Welcome to space.
Yeah. They sound like the Swedish neighbors from that Saturday Night Live sketch.
Yeah.
I am Nuni, and this is my wife Nuni. But I think if they spoke their native language, the dialogue wouldn't be so bad, but it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
But the visuals are very good.
All right.
Yeah, there's some the spaceship design and some of the robots in it are really, really cool. And the idea is like there's an AI in every spaceship, and when the spaceship crashes, some mythic person from another planet like pulls the AI out of this machine, and it solidifies as this like naked woman covered in grease. And
the Greasy Strangler.
yeah, it's the greasy spaceship. And
Greasy spaceship.
and it's set like a 3-episode miniseries, but it's basically like one movie.
Oh, okay.
So not for everybody, but if you're like a sci-fi or like cyberpunk fan, check it out because it's on Shudder. If you want to see it, Tyler, I can show you here because I signed up for the free 30 days.
Okay.
So there's that. I also watched a movie I've seen a while back from 2013 called The Dirties, and this is streaming on Amazon Prime right now. The plot of this is after Columbine and a few high-profile school shootings had happened, and there's these 2 young filmmakers, Matt Johnson and Owen Williams.
Owen, I was gonna be like Owen Wilson.
Muscle memory in my tongue. But they're the main characters in this movie. They wrote and directed it together, and they basically play teenagers in school, like 17, 18-year-old, and they're kind of nerds. Film, like, one of them's a really big film geek, and he's got his whole basement is covered in movie posters, and he talks in movie quotes, and really cringy, exactly what you'd expect from like a 17-year-old.
I speak fluently in movie quotes.
Yeah. So there's definitely like a super cringe aspect of that young person trying to find their personality and attaching any movie they've seen that's edgy onto it.
Okay.
But the characters are very relatable, and his friend Owen is just kind of tags along for it and is like, yeah, I'll be in your movies. I'll do this. I'll do that. And they make movies together. And the movie they're making is about this gang that runs the school, quote unquote, called the Dirties. And they're played by the bullies that actually bully them in real life.
They actually star their own bullies in their own movie.
Exactly, they do.
All right.
So they film them from afar, and they're like, "Oh, there's the Dirties over there. We're gonna take them out. We're gonna take this one's dick off with the sniper." And they're gonna submit this movie to their film class, and they play both parts, and they do all these weird movie illusions and stuff, and it's pretty fun if you're.
Is it like a coming of age movie,
No,
or is it
isn't.
like a thriller?
No, I'll tell you what it turns into. It's a little coming of age because Owen is his friend, and they're both bullied heavily at their school.
Okay.
And
I mean, they're movie fans. So.
Yeah, he starts getting attention of a girl that he likes. She starts actually acknowledging his existence and just being nice to him. So he realizes, life's not so bad, and he starts kind of getting away from this negative, vitriolic outlook that they have on the world, that the bullies are terrible and their life sucks, because they start planning a school shooting. And
oh shit!
Yeah, it gets really dark very fast. And Matt is like the lead guy, and he's like, how about instead of censoring the movie because their film teacher says they can't show them killing students in the movie, they're like, how about you just change it and take the F words out and call your version of the director's cut. It's rated R, but you need to give us something PG so we can show it in school. And then they go back home, and he's like, how about instead of censoring it, we actually just kill those guys. Wouldn't that be funny? That'd be so funny. We show it in there, and they're like, this is the exact opposite of what you said to do. And then from there, it just snowballs, and the idea gains traction, and then they start actually planning a school shooting, and that's what the movie turns into.
Wow.
And the end of the movie is very realistic and jarring.
I want to watch it.
It's a good watch.
The Dirties.
The Dirties.
All
Yeah, it's on
right.
Amazon Prime. Really accessible, and it's pretty short. Hour 23 minutes.
Wow.
Comes and goes. And
It's like a kids movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and
Movie
it's,
with kids.
It's also shot from the perspective of a found footage movie. So there's a third friend that they acknowledge, and they look at the camera a couple times, and they're like, "Are you getting this? Are you getting this?" And he's just holding the camera the whole time. But
It's like I guess.
yeah, and he's there for everything. And then when the shooting goes down, there's GoPros and stuff. But it's very, very ultra realistic and not. I mean, the subject matter is dark, and it was a very risky movie to make at the time. But it's not done in a really macabre way.
Yeah.
You don't feel, forgive the pun, dirty watching it. But it was impactful. I watched it when it first came out a couple years back, and or maybe a year after it came out, and I watched it. I don't know what made me think of it, but I watched it again this morning, and it was still good. So
Nice.
Yeah.
My streaming pick should come to no surprise to anyone.
Say that every week.
I
don't know what you're watching.
Well,
My camera that I put up in your house, the battery died months ago.
oh, okay. Well, let me get it. I'll run to the. Anyways, I'll run to the store and grab batteries so you can.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Follow me on Twitch where you can see me in my room watching.
Truman Show style.
Speaking of Twitch, I always thought it'd be funny to do like a Twitch stream of you playing video games, but you don't get to see my screen. It's just you
the
sitting on the
other person.
couch, like eating snacks, and being like, "Fuck, damn, guy got me." Damn it, dang it.
So
On your phone on the pause menu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so to no one's surprise, my my streaming pick is 2004's Suburban Sasquatch.
The fuck.
This is a
No surprise to anyone.
Yeah, it's a very well-known movie, critically acclaimed.
I'm not surprised.
So Suburban Sasquatch is almost kind of like it's a famous movie in the bad movie scene. It's terrible. It's funny as shit at the same time.
Wait a minute. I feel like I've seen one of those scenes before.
You probably have. There's a lot of really, really funny
Sasquatch is
scenes.
holding a cop car over his head.
Yeah.
I feel like I have seen this movie.
Well, it's streaming on Amazon Prime.
Oh, great.
When was it made?
2004.
I feel like I saw this on like a Mystery Science episode or something.
Yeah, you could have. It's a really famous bad good movie, although you can argue that it's not a bad good movie, it's just a bad movie. I thought it was really entertaining. So
It's got 3.3 on IMDb.
oh god.
Still more than Veronica.
Yeah. By double. Actually, more than
Oh
double.
god. Oh Danzig, I'm so sorry.
And Rotten Tomatoes score, I don't think it has one.
Yeah, probably not.
No. No ratings.
So Suburban Sasquatch is basically about Sasquatch. He gets pissed that there is suburban developments happening in his area, so he goes on a killing rampage, and it's up to a couple of park rangers, a reporter, and a Native American warrior with mystical aspects to stop this Sasquatch from raining his terror on these poor suburbanites.
Is written by Neil Breen?
No, actually, I feel like Neil Breen has better writing than this movie.
Oh, no.
And that's saying something.
Okay.
This is directed by David Wasakavage. I don't really know who he is.
That's a cabbage.
Yeah.
What's a cabbage?
It's a leafy vegetable.
So yeah, this movie's streaming on Amazon Prime, and I was really happy
Thank
because really the only you can torrent it, obviously.
Is it worth it?
But I don't know.
How many people are seeing this?
Well, it really what brings up my next point though is that you can buy the DVD, but it goes on average for $60.
What the heck?
Yeah, it's a prized possession. So
Comes with a pair of Tommy Wiseau's underwear line.
Tommy John's. Is that Tommy John's? Is that Tommy Wiseau's underwear line?
He does have an underwear line. I don't think it's called Tommy
It's
John's.
Tommy Wiseau, John Favreau side project.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're in the mood to laugh, this is a really funny movie.
Cool.
Streaming on Amazon Prime, Suburban Sasquatch.
Seems like a movie I would like be like drunk and watch.
Is it like a Samurai Cop type bad movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Is Samurai Cop better?
No, it's on the same level, really.
Okay,
Like, it's not better or worse. It's on that same level of.
Okay.
I love Samurai Cop, though.
Fair
I
enough.
want to watch it again.
Fair enough.
Samurai Cop is very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Joseph? What do you got for a stream pick?
Not a lot in terms of movies that I've watched, but in the light of the current events going on, there have been some lists made of things to educate yourself on to better understand the current climate of what's happening in the world.
Alright.
Some movies or shows that are streaming, mostly on Netflix. And I'll just go through the list. I haven't seen any of these, but I will indulge myself.
Indulge us.
Indulge you, and I'll indulge myself in watching these movies and shows. The first one is called 13th. It's a documentary about the 13th Amendment, which is about abolishing slavery. And I heard that it is wild.
Wild.
Really interesting.
It's a documentary.
It's a documentary on
Okay.
Netflix. Another movie or show called American Son, streaming on Netflix.
S-O-N or S-U-N?
S-O-N, American Son. The show Dear White People.
Oh, I remember the controversy that show
Which is streaming
made.
on, which is
I
streaming
watched
on
Dear White
Netflix.
People a few episodes and didn't land for me.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is it a comedy or a drama?
It's a little bit of both, and it's a lot of like gravitas in everything they say,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I mean, some of the messages are great, but I don't know.
The delivery is
Yeah,
a
I don't know.
little.
Yeah, it's a little stilted for me. I don't know. It's,
Well, I mean, it's a Netflix.
I think
It's a
it would-
Netflix show. That's not
yeah,
surprising.
it probably would do better as a movie, but it's a series, so they kind of drag out a lot of the stuff and try to make it feel more impactful than it is. But
I really
Yeah.
laughed at the controversy that happened because people didn't even watch the show. They
Yeah,
just
they-
saw the title and there's like, oh, why does it have to be about white people?
I like it's like when people
yeah.
get pissed off about a news article when they don't read it, just a headline.
I can't believe it. If Beale Street Could Talk, which is a movie, streaming on Hulu.
Oh, that movie has been recommended to me a few times.
Yeah.
I should.
Now's the time to watch it, Tyler.
Yeah, I didn't say it.
Watch that instead of Suburban Sasquatch again.
Yes.
Well, yes.
King in the Wilderness.
Mhm.
HBO. See You Yesterday on Netflix. The Hate You Give, which is something I've heard of.
The Hate You
Yeah,
Give.
I've heard that was good.
It's on Cinemax though.
Skinamax.
I don't know what people stream Cinemax.
People that are too timid to get a Brazzers subscription.
They just want to see Anna Nicole Smith naked.
You know, it's
That's
weird.
the only reason.
When it comes to like when I had cable growing up, and my parents had like Stars and HBO and Cinemax, like I would get excited most for Cinemax because they had the better Saturday night.
I wonder why.
They had the best Saturday night premieres
Oh, they
of
sure
movies.
did. They sure did.
Um,
Especially at 2 a.m.
yeah.
I watched half of Blue Velvet when I was 12 on Cinemax, and I was like, "What is this?
Fuck.
Yeah.
This is scary."
Yeah. Stars had some good options too, but most of the good movies came to Cinemax.
Stars now is killing
Really?
it. Yeah, Stars lineup is pretty good now.
Oh, all right.
And then When They See Us on Netflix. So check those out if you're interested, which I hope you are, in learning more about what's happening in the world.
Yeah, it's
Educate yourself.
a lot of crazy things happening, and I firmly believe that a good, well-made movie or documentary is a really, really great way to educate people on things that they have never experienced in their own life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things I love about movies. You could see something that you'll never, ever, ever experience and feel like you're transported to that place in time or
Yeah.
that
True.
emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, some other movies that aren't, unfortunately, not streaming that impacted me a lot was Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee's movie from like 1993 or 4, maybe 1989 or something. I watched that in a film class, like a film and society class, and that movie was very
It's brutal.
yeah, very hard to watch.
brutal.
It's like tackles racism from every corner, not just white on black. There's Hispanic, Italians, and white people and black people and Asians too. And it's just
Yeah, it's like set in Brooklyn, I think, right?
yeah, it's on a block,
Yeah.
one specific block on like a hot ass day, and like you feel the fucking heat in that movie.
Oh yeah.
A young Samuel Jackson plays a radio DJ in that movie, and it's really good. And Spike Lee actually is coming out with a new movie on Netflix starring
About the black Vietnam veterans.
Chadwick Boseman. The Five Bloods is what's called.
Oh yeah.
D8,
Yeah.
The Five Bloods.
Spike Lee joints.
I'm excited for
It's
that
interesting. It looks like an interesting movie. The trailer came out, and I was like, it's like all these soldiers go back to Vietnam, and then they kind of are like reliving the memories of.
Yeah, I think it's set in 2 time periods: present day and back in the day. So it's got a young black cast and an older black cast.
Yeah.
Playing the main 5 characters.
Yeah.
They're going back to get a treasure of sorts that they buried at a specific place, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly the plot. It's coming out on the 12th.
It's a sequel to Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But yeah, and 12 Years a Slave was another movie that really like hit me when I saw that. I was like, God, that movie is rough to watch.
I'm sure it is.
But it's really good. And Steve McQueen, not the actor, the director, director of Shame.
They've resurrected
Shame.
McQueen.
Yeah.
Shame is that's another hard to watch movie.
Yeah, this one is a lot longer than Shame. There's probably like a good 5-minute scene of just the main actor Chiwetel before is how you pronounce his name, who plays the main character, and it's like a lynching scene, but he's basically just on his tiptoes while he's hanging from a tree, and it's no music, nothing, just him like struggling to breathe.
Wow.
But the end is beautiful.
I thought you were gonna mention Lord of the Rings in this list too. I thought you.
Where was Gondor?
Where was Gondor?
Have you guys seen Shame?
Yes.
Michael Fassbender.
I have not seen Shame. I've heard about it, but
There's quick rundown on Fassbender's character. He's just basically a sex addict.
Yeah.
And he has a Carey Mulligan plays his sister, right?
Yeah.
And they live together in like a kind of a nice apartment.
Well,
in
she
New York
comes
City.
and stays with him.
Okay, so yeah. And Bree's an only child. My girlfriend Bree, love her to death. She's an only child, and she keeps asking every time something happens between
They have a weird relationship, just so you know.
brother and sister in a movie. She's always like, "Is that normal for brother and sisters?" Like, I've always like an incest thing. And she looks at me and she goes, "Is that normal for brother and sister? You have a sister." I'm like, "No, it's not," because he's basically like.
I thought you were gonna be like, yes.
There's a very incestual kind of relationship that they have, and they both have
They're very open.
twisted, like take on their own sexuality. And it is a fantastic watch. It's very hard.
He's
to
a
watch.
sex addict and she's depressed.
Yeah.
So you put 2 and 2 together, and then
Nothing happens between them.
Almost. Bree's like, she just every time something happens between this brother and sister, she just looks at me and like scowls. I'm like, what?
I didn't make the movie.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that she watches a Spanish drama called Elite on Facebook or on Netflix. I mean, and the brother and sister in that are also have an ancestral relationship, and I'm Spanish, but by blood. And she's like, "You Spaniards in your brother-sister relationship." I'm like, Jesus Christ, I can't win with you.
I didn't do anything.
I'm just sitting here. Anyways,
so those are my stream picks.
learn yourself.
All those movies are streaming. Do the Right Thing is not. You can rent it, and 12 Years a Slave, you probably can rent it. Or you can borrow it from me.
Yeah. Send us an email, please.
and I just wanted to say before we get into the meat of this episode, I just want to show my appreciation for films in general, because I think it's a good escape for all the negativity in the world. Not to say that you should ignore the negativity in the world. It's more so that, we're all human. We get tired. It's nice to just watch, Suburban Sasquatch, on your off day. So this is my statement for appreciation of films.
I don't know if you should watch Suburban Sasquatch.
Yes, you should. Yes, you should. How dare you? Yes, you should.
I watched this morning. My Aunt Linda is a huge proponent of black and white films. She says those are the best era we ever had. It was Humphrey Bogart and the like.
Oh, yeah.
And HBO Max has all that shit. And I watched last week. I talked about Yojimbo. It was a Kurosawa movie.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. Really enjoyed it. And I watched the Maltese Falcon this morning.
Oh god!
And that was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. How can you go wrong? I thought. And I watched it, and it was fucking great. And just like Tyler's talking about, it takes you out of the world that you're in and puts you in this time and space. And it was really enjoyable to watch, like, Bogart just completely, I don't want to say talking down to every woman he encounters, but he ends every phone call with a woman like, all right, yeah, stay there and don't answer the door till I get there or the police do. That's a good girl. And I'm just like, oh my god, that was considered charming at that time.
Yeah, just casual misogyny, That's what the women love.
Yeah,
but
anyway,
got my controller. Well, good. Thanks for bringing that up, Tyler.
Yeah.
I agree with that. It's a good escape.
Yeah, just take care of yourself, listeners. Just don't.
And then watch Back to the Future and Lord of the Rings, both trilogies streaming on Netflix right now.
Are they really?
Yes.
No, Lord of the Rings is not streaming on Netflix any longer.
Any longer?
Really?
Oh, just like last week they were.
I know.
Sucks.
Like
never mind. Well, Back to the Future is all three of them.
Yeah, and Indiana Jones.
Cool. So,
what's this movie called again?
You were never really here.
I'm still there.
I'm still really here.
Never, sometimes, maybe, always.
I'm always, maybe, sometimes, never there. Starring Joaquin Phoenix and nobody else.
So, what's the rundown on the plot of this movie?
So,
give us the old brass tacks.
This movie, directed by Lynn Ramsey, who I thought was a man but is a woman.
Lynn Ramsey, Manuel Miranda.
Yeah. Who directed We Need to Talk About Kevin.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Another school shooting movie.
Yeah. Well, yep.
Spoilers.
Different kind of shooting.
So the plot of this movie is Joaquin Phoenix plays a traumatized veteran, unafraid of violence, tracks down missing girls for a living. When a job spins out of control, Joe's nightmares overtake him as a conspiracy is uncovered, leading to what may be his death trip or his awakening. And that's basically
long and short of it.
Yeah. This movie is very short, surprisingly.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, when it ended, it's over. Oh, that was quick.
We got through the character introductions, and next thing I knew, I woke up and it was the end. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was. I mean, this movie is basically, there probably could have been no script for this movie, because it was almost a silent film.
Yeah, there was very.
Well, I mean,
very
it was really just
little.
Joaquin Phoenix just living his life.
Here we go again. Another documentary about Joaquin Phoenix.
Yep.
I thought I got enough documentaries after I watched The Village.
I know. And then we got I'm Still Here.
Yeah.
And now we have You Were Never Really Here.
Was that around the same time, or was I Still Here was like 2015?
I Am Still Here was like
2015 or 14 or something like that.
Even before that. I feel like
it was like I
2011.
was gonna say like 2010.
Remember that was the first time Joaquin Phoenix was on my radar as a weird guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always remembered him as the guy who played Johnny Cash.
The infamous David Letterman interview.
Yes.
Which I watched live when it happened.
You watched it live?
I was like, what is happening?
That's great.
And then 2 years later, this movie comes out and is in that movie.
My claim to fame for watching weird stuff live is I watched Too Many Cooks live on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
That was exciting and confusing.
Never heard of it, but
what?
Yeah.
Wait, you've never heard of Too Many Cooks?
No.
All right.
Oh my
That's
god,
that's gonna be your homework for this
all
week.
right, scrap. We're watching the short right now. And,
15-minute Adult Swim art piece called
All right.
Too Many Cooks.
So Joaquin Phoenix stars in this movie. You Were Never Really Here, directed by Lynn Ramsey, and it basically a movie about trauma.
Sure.
Yeah, the aftermath of trauma.
Yeah, and like the current goings on of trauma happening live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel bad for his character the whole time.
So
Yeah.
I just want to say, have you guys ever seen Portrait of a Serial Killer before?
Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well,
Never heard of it.
this movie reminded me a lot of that one because it's kind of filmed in the same way. Maybe it's a little bit different.
That's
but
Michael Rooker.
yeah, the guy who played in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
And
Oh man, what was that? Rubbin is racing.
Rubbin is racing.
That's Thunder.
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder. Yeah, that's what it was. Anyways, I'm getting off track.
Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Yeah, Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. It's kind of filmed in that same way where it's just like it is the Joaquin Phoenix show and it's him stumbling around beating people with a hammer, kind of like how Henry does in the movie. Except he's like a hero and he's a serial killer. But I thought it was restrained almost perfectly. I liked
This movie or Henry?
No, this movie. You Were Never Really Here. I thought it was restrained really well. I think the restraint was very effective in telling the story.
Yeah.
Because you don't really see any violence in the movie. You see the aftermath of violence. And when he said like it's like the aftermath of trauma, like that.
I don't know. You see it in the CCTV.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are certain scenes where you don't see him like sneaking in the house.
It pulls some punches from the most brutal stuff.
I mean the security camera footage definitely like makes it like it lessens the impact.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I really got into that movie. Like when I thought it was
his first home invasion.
Yeah, when they show him going into the house and it's just those whole scenes were just like through the security camera. I was like, okay, I appreciate this is sold.
I appreciated his little his jaunt through the old underage sex den there, because I think that in movies a lot of times it gives what I feel like would be an unrealistic portrayal of how people would react to a person coming in to kill them.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone seems to be ready to fight and they're all martial arts masters. And these guys are just like coming out naked and like, what?
What's going on?
Yeah, what's happening? And then their heads caved in with a ball peen hammer.
And even the security who are there, they're just
chilling.
Yeah.
They're just big guys.
Yeah, they're just it's big. It's Huel from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Huel. Oh, I love that character.
What do you guys want to like summarize your thoughts about it?
Well, yeah, the initial thoughts after the movie ended.
I was expecting a little bit more out of it because, I mean, I didn't know anything about it. Never watched the trailer. When you mentioned it on the wheel, I'd never heard of it before, but I'd seen the poster scrolling through Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that one. And I was kind of thinking it was going to be like Taken, like Neeson's.
Oh, yeah. Taken as that.
Neeson's as a badass, and this one would be Phoenix as a badass. And it was, so I was kind of thinking like this exciting action drama, and
the scale is not quite as big as Taken.
No. And I was hoping for like maybe like 2 or 3 more like exciting set pieces or like exciting like designed scenes where he just flexes on the audience a little bit. And I didn't really get that, so I kind of was left a little bit disappointed in it. But I was really pleasantly surprised with some of the emotional parts of it.
Yeah.
The scene with the guy in the kitchen on the ground singing until he dies.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that before. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that at all. And I was like, why doesn't this guy just kill him or like break his fingers one by one?
He gives him an Advil.
Yeah. Gives him a Percocet. And then
there you go.
And then also the funeral scene in the lake was really
that was
really something.
Really, really beautiful.
I loved that. So I felt ultimately like the movie had the makings of a great movie, but it missed the mark for me. It was like a lot of cool scenes with a lot of style and emotion, but it didn't really know which direction it was going, and it left the rest of the audience to fill in all the blank spots, which was I mean, fair enough, and it works in a lot of cases, but maybe it just didn't land 100% with me. So I liked it, I didn't love it.
Yeah, like in the first 15 minutes, I was like, this is, where is this going? Like, there's not really any development going on. You're just kind of thrown into this world, which you don't know. So I didn't really like it at first, like in the first like 15, 20 minutes, but then it started, like, the ball just like started rolling like almost instantly, where he goes, and I think there's a scene where he picks up his pills from the drug dealer and he punches him in the face, and he's just like, "Don't make me wait."
Yeah, don't keep me waiting.
And I was just like, there's a lot of those like jolting like scenes, because it's a really slow burn kind of movie.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciated the like keeping you on your toes. The brutality of the violence is pretty realistic.
Mm-hmm.
I think Joaquin Phoenix was a little overacting in some parts of him, like walking around like a drunkard homeless man.
I like that part of it. I liked how he blended into his surroundings to get.
Yeah.
But is he really blending in? Like, if you saw someone like him on the streets, just this like burly big man, just like
He's like
stumbling
average build.
around.
Yeah.
Well, he looks big. He looks imposing
he's
in this
swole.
movie.
Yeah.
He's very swollen.
I've seen a lot
He's
of
very swollen.
I've seen a lot of imposing homeless people in my day.
Yeah. It's he going into the movie, I was like, this guy's gonna be like Ryan Gosling and Drive, and he's gonna just kind of badass with a hammer.
I did get some Drive,
but he lives with his
vibes.
mom. Another movie where he lives with his mom. The other one being Joker.
Oh,
I like the mom.
I made a note in my notes while I was watching this movie. This is that the mom is the mom from Requiem for a Dream, and that Joaquin Phoenix is the brother of Jared Leto.
Oh.
And Jared Leto is just stuck in Florida, and then his hitman of a brother is still living with the mom.
Joaquin's mom was sweet though, and Ellen Burstyn is
she was
tweaker.
like dementia or Alzheimer's. Or
Yeah, it was
some slight hints of it
due to all the diet pills.
Yeah.
She wasn't taking the diet pills anymore, but
she did look like a crazy
was still
person.
feeling them.
Yeah, she played crazy well.
Yeah, it was restrained enough to be effective. I think that the simplicity of him just like waltzing into these pedophiles' houses and then just bashing them in with a hammer, I thought that was awesome. And then that ending really I kept going one direction to the other. I was just like, what's happening? Oh fucking no. Oh fuck.
Yeah, I kind of had the similar feelings to you, Pete, where I was like, maybe like during the movie, I was like wanting more. I was thinking I wanted more, but then it ended, and I was like, do I really want more?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want the information read to me or spoon fed to me, you know?
Sure.
But at the same time, I don't want to spend too much thinking about like the last scene while I'm watching the next scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it towed the line up for that many times in the movie. And
it certainly did.
Because there are a series of flashbacks to his time in war and to his childhood.
And it showed him as an FBI investigator as well.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so we're just getting more context as the movie goes. And we do get like a little more, but not enough to like, oh, this is why. You know, because the movie starts. The first shot is him like with a bag over his head.
Dry cleaning bag.
Oh yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. They never really explained that, but
I mean, they show him as a kid like hiding from his parents,
doing the same shit,
and like not hearing, like he's like drowning out the sound of.
Yeah, I think he's hiding in the closet, and as he does, because kids are stupid, he puts his head in a bag.
Yeah,
just like, I'm gonna hide in this clear bag, and then he just starts suffocating. And he's counting off how long he can make it before he starts suffocating, which it comes into effect later when he's underwater,
Yeah.
burying his mom, basically.
Yeah.
Which is a high contender for the way I want to get buried. Right now, it's Viking funeral. Flaming arrow wrapped in cotton.
You just want me to carry you into the lake?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and like in the beginning of the movie, we hear his dad. We never see his face or anything. You see with the very ominous like towel over his face with a hammer, similar hammer. Who he was a abuser,
ball peen hammer,
and you hear his voice. He kind of sounds like the truck driver from Joyride. He has like this low, deep, marbly voice, where it's like only pussy slouch.
Oh yeah, I love that scene.
It comes. I mean that the voiceover comes back many times.
Yeah,
and we get more context. Like when he is the FBI agent, he opens a container full of like immigrants or something.
I think they're like Asian sex slaves. Or
yeah,
something.
and they were all dead too.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't all dead. Some of them were.
I thought they were all dead.
Yeah,
I saw some movement.
Really?
I saw some
shit.
twitching.
Are you serious?
But yeah, but like the way that the editing in this movie, like, was really well done. Like the use of the flashbacks,
those were good,
appropriately placed.
They give you just a little bit, and then later they give you a little bit more, and then they reveal the entire scene.
And even the entire scene,
the candy bar scene in Iraq was, or so I'm assuming Iraq or Afghanistan.
Yeah,
with he's
brutal.
Active duty deployed military at a forward operating base, and he gives a local girl a Snickers bar or something, and then some random kid shows up outside the fence and caps her in the head and takes her Snickers bar.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh god,
I thought I agree with you, Joseph, on the editing of the flashbacks, because it kind of puts you in like the mindset of his trauma.
Yeah,
because that's what he's experiencing. He's not like experiencing like full like reenactments of what happened. Like he's just getting these flashes of foot in the sand.
And there wasn't like, because like we see on his body has scars and stuff, and we never see,
not quite realize what
there's
that
no
is.
like character he meets where like she's like, where'd you get those scars? Like, I know
I got these
scars. And there's no like, he's not like telling the audience like, oh yeah, like my dad was an abuser, and we give like the one like story where he like killed, well obviously he didn't kill his mom because his mom's still there, but like
no exposition story to explain every bit about him,
but we just get enough to know that he's had like one of the worst childhoods.
Yeah.
And like his mom, like we see that one scene where she has like she's laying on the table, she has a bloodied temple, and then the dad is just laying there with a towel over his head.
I'm assuming he killed himself. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
He's sitting in a chair with his arms like draped back, with his head laying back with a towel over his face.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like he just cut his throat, but you don't see the blood, or maybe cut his wrist or something. They don't really show it.
Yeah.
But
and that it kind of goes back to, it's just like you don't need to know what happened. You just need to know that this images are just flashing in his head constantly.
It's kind of like the Suspiria nightmares.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where it's just like flashing horrible images, but these were just past events in his life that are now his nightmares.
Yeah, thinking about this movie more, there is something in me that desires more, but I think that's the point of this movie, is that you want to know more, but it's not going to give it to you because that's the way it is. Like,
you think so? You really think that?
Yes, I do, Tyler.
What is this one?
Shoes? Do you think I own shoes? I'm not wearing shoes right now. I don't own a single pair.
Yeah, I think that it baits you into wanting more, and I think that some of it is the point. It's like it wants you to want more.
I can understand how somebody might think like it's to a fault, like that you want more. Like leave a little bit to be desired, but not like too much. Like, don't be so modest. Show me some ankle.
Yeah, baby.
It's this movie toes the line of that so much, and even when it's over, it's like this movie could have probably been like 2 hours long.
Yes.
And a lot. It was a very dark movie because the subject matter.
Mhm.
But I was expecting like way more uncomfortability.
Yeah,
Uh,
I really enjoyed. I hate to say this. This sounds pretty psychopathic, but I enjoyed the part where he blew his head off in the diner.
I was like, that's the end of the movie.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I was. I was just like, oh my god.
And then no one reacts to it. I'm like, man,
Damn it.
oh man.
But I mean, I kind of realized that he was like suicidal the whole time because like
Well,
the
yeah.
way he's like
He's dropping the knife
on
like,
his foot.
On his foot.
I was like, and then
that
he,
was funny.
He holds it. He puts it in his mouth, and then somebody knocks on the door, calls him.
Yeah.
I was just thinking how nonchalantly he walks into these dangerous places too. Like
He's got a death wish.
He doesn't
Yeah,
care.
he's just like, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
I think Nina, who was the senator's daughter that he was saving, I thought she did a really good job at portraying getting out of
like PTSD.
Yeah,
She reminded me a little. She gave me a little bit of young Natalie Portman and Leon the Professional.
Yes,
Except for without all the sass.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think Natalie Portman should watch this movie and then recreate her own role.
Perfect.
But Leon the Professional would be a much more quieter movie if it was done in the way of.
If it didn't have Gary Oldman shouting at everybody every time he kills someone.
Yeah, I thought the story was really interesting, just because it's realistic.
I was shocked. I was shocked when he gets her back to the hotel. Like he's driving back to the motel and he's got her in the passenger seat of the car, and I'm thinking, man, that would suck to get pulled over by a cop right now. But luckily, cops don't exist in this universe unless they're crooked cops, because he's driving that Cadillac with the vinyl top like a fucking maniac for like 9 hours, going from New Jersey to Manhattan, and this Cadillac doesn't get pulled over. But all the cops are crooked.
Yeah.
But when he gets to the hotel and he watches the news story.
Oh, yeah, Votto.
And Votto kills, quote unquote, jumps off the building. I was like, oh, fuck, that's the catalyst.
Yeah.
Now he's stuck with this girl. Now it really is Leon the Professional.
But then it quickly becomes not that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because right after that, the crooked cops find him.
That was brutal. The
right when he opens the door,
the front desk dude gets blasted in the head.
Oh yeah, that's what I was wondering. Who was that got blasted in the head in front of him? That was the hotel clerk.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was eating.
I thought that was the senator for some reason.
He's eating the fries like a sandwich.
Yeah, he's eating the fries right out of the container, like he's living in 2055.
Goddamn animal.
Yeah.
The year 3020.
Yeah.
You're drunk.
Yeah, the cops have silencers. And
Why
didn't they kill him?
Yeah, why didn't he?
I know, that's exactly the thought.
Killed the clerk in like half a second, and he should have just walked in. Pew, pew.
I know. It's like, why did they wait? Why didn't they kill him right away?
Because then there would be no third act.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's like, if they just killed him, they would, like, they have no reason to keep him alive.
Yeah, and they didn't even monologue either. They were just shitty bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, because once they shot the guy in the face, they could have easily just bam, you're dead. Here's a girl. Movie ends.
Yeah.
Which would have been a bold move. I might have liked the ending
Directed
better.
by Peter Jackson.
Yeah, I might have liked the ending more if they just ended it like that.
This is a 30-minute movie.
It would have just been like, it would have just been like, fuck you. This is real life.
I got a great, great creepy vibe out of the senator once they go to his like sex compound at the end.
That's the governor, actually.
Governor is what it was.
Yeah, it was the Governor Williams.
Oh god.
Because like remember he says she's his favorite.
Yeah. Oh man, it was.
Yeah,
you're like he's got all
weird.
like the dollhouses and like
I know he's like he's setting it up.
weird old music.
The pink bed.
Yeah,
the comforter.
little kid's bed. Yeah.
This is a realistic movie, honestly, because this isn't too far fetched from what happened. Unfortunately, what happens in real life is
And
like
this is
these
supposed to be
high-powered people are fucking kids out there.
People in politics.
Remember to vote, guys.
And yeah, it's supposed to be New York, right?
Yeah.
And so the governor of New York is this Governor Williams, which we only see really once for maybe 30 seconds total.
It was a little like, oh, he's now the bad guy and he's just now being introduced. Okay.
I mean, it's not even like he's the bad guy. I mean, he is
I was gonna
he's
say
the
he
main
is a
boss.
bad
he is of the pedophile state of New York.
Yeah. No, he's the bad guy.
Of the
ultimately.
pedophiles in New York, he's the king of pedophiles.
He's king pedophile.
Yeah.
King pedo.
I think he has a boss in Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah. And so he's the main boss. He's got 2 health bars. But he gets, I mean,
unceremoniously killed.
Yeah, so like very anticlimactic for us.
Yeah.
We walk in and we expect Joaquin Phoenix to bash his brains in and squash his nuts with his hands.
Yeah.
Like via a la Sin City.
Yeah.
It was great that he walks in and you don't see what he's looking at. He's kind of looking for the girl.
Yeah.
And he sees, you don't find out for another 30 seconds, but he sees the
body of
the governor on the ground with his neck cut,
slit open.
and he's just like, he gets all excited about it, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, this guy's dead already. My work is done.
It kind of triggers him too because he knows that Nina killed him, and I think what he's thinking, he's just like, oh
Himself.
God, like
She's lost her innocence.
yeah,
maybe?
yeah. That's kind of the vibe I got, was that he sees him dead and he automatically knows,
But-
oh fuck, Nina killed her. Like now
for
she
her-
is
for
crossed
her-
a line.
For her context, we find out that her dad is in on this pedophile ring
Really?
because we overhear somebody, or no, I think he's like asking somebody. He's like, Votto wanted out of this thing.
Yeah,
so
that's
why he killed himself,
Yeah,
Quote unquote.
quote unquote. But somebody just
that was
they basically like,
the
I'm gonna
guard.
kill your daughter or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
Thanks,
like
George
that's like
Bush.
what's up to us to determine exactly why he did that.
Yeah.
I was thinking he just straight up got murdered because he like orchestrated like a rescue.
Yeah,
for
because
his
he
daughter.
wanted out. So like he wanted out. He wanted his daughter out.
Oh, look at that! More
Oh
layers.
my gosh.
That sounds very titillating. More layers.
Yeah, so he wanted out. So, but they didn't want him to want out. So they just killed him.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot more sense now.
And his daughter was the governor's favorite, so they couldn't have that. And so they killed him, and then they obviously found him via his information. Because Joaquin Phoenix's character, also known as Joe,
Yeah.
has like a agent manager
A hitman manager.
who works at like, I don't know what he works.
He's like a dollar store Matt Walsh.
Yeah, it's who gives him the job of finding the senator's daughter, and then when he comes back, he's tracing his steps.
I already knew something bad was gonna happen when he's just like, we're gonna be on our yacht drinking steaks and eating cold beer.
This guy, I don't know what happened to this fucking guy, but his hands were fucked up.
Yeah. He probably tortured
He was
him.
tortured for the location of Joe, but he gave him the address to his house, his mom's house, and then Joe finds his mom dead, shot in the face,
Shot in the eye.
yeah, shot in the eye with a pillow over
She's
her head.
eye shot.
Yeah. And then we get that scene with the guy singing on the floor after he kills one guy,
Kills
and
one of the spooks.
and then injures the other one.
Injures the other one to basically mortally injures him.
And actually, that scene where he's holding his hand and singing with him was totally improvised by Phoenix. And that's actually real.
Is that true?
That is true. Like, Phoenix had a lot of creative control in his character. From what I've read.
Yeah, he won like the best actor at Cannes for this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's not like a whole lot to this movie because
It takes its time getting from scene to scene.
it's
Very visual.
because it's very interpretive or up to you because of like what we've been talking about, that it's like it is very surface level, but you have to dig yourself for
There's more
for
than
all
meets the eye.
for all the other details that you want, you can infer.
Yeah.
And then we're already at the end of this goddamn movie.
Goddamn movie.
It came and went really quick.
I'm trying to even think of what else if we've missed anything.
No, we pretty much covered the whole bases. It's a very simple plot. I think this movie works very well based on its visualness.
It's very thematic.
Yeah.
The theme is trauma, in my opinion.
I think this movie would not have
Or
worked if it
post-trauma.
wasn't for Joaquin Phoenix as well.
Well, yeah, he's the only one in it.
It is the Joaquin Phoenix show, but if it was like anyone else, I think
If it was Phil Dunphy from Modern Family, I don't think Ty Burrell. I don't think this would. I don't think it would have worked.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What about what's that other guy from Extreme Makeover Home Edition? Ty something or other.
Oh yeah, oh, fuck.
Ty Seagal.
Ty Seagal.
Ty Seagal. What about Steven Seagal?
Steven Seagal.
Oh
Yeah.
god damn it.
Oh yeah,
Those are the only movies he makes, by the way.
Yeah.
this could have been a
you.
this could have been a Steven Seagal movie.
Oh my gosh, that was great. Oh, there was a scene. Oh, never mind. That was a different movie.
Oh.
I was gonna say there's a scene where he karate chops a guy's hand, but that was Maltese Falcon.
Wait, that was black and white for some reason.
Yeah.
But
Joaquin Phoenix has a really weird accent in that movie.
Yeah, and then it ends where like he rescues the girl again, and she's like eating dinner with like bloody hands.
Yeah.
Eating potatoes.
I thought that was a little bit overdone. I was just like, okay, like I get it.
What is this, Sucker Punch?
She just becomes like Lucy Liu's character in the anime part of Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is where they become like partner in crime, where they're gonna hunt these pedophiles together.
It's a God Bless America with Bill Murray's brother, directed by Bobcat Goldthwait.
I thought I thought that was a little bit overdone, but the diner scene of them just sitting there, like I was watching this and I was thinking I've totally been there before, just
when I rescued a girl from a pedophile ring.
well, I mean, metaphorically, really what was happening was I was coming down off of some acid and like I would go into a Denny's
and
and
a Waffle House.
Yeah, and just pale face, just staring off into space. All my body hurts. What the fuck? And
I did not see this coming at all.
well, you should have, because
I did see this coming.
so it's just kind of just like there's something weird about like two people or people going into a diner setting after experiencing something the complete opposite of a diner setting. Like it's just like you're just like reaching for normalcy, and
It's what I mean. Diner scenes is kind of like a go-to in movies.
It's a specific type of diner scene. It's the wrap-up diner scene.
yeah.
They have a wrap-up diner scene in Stretch. That was a fun movie with the limo driver.
With Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson.
And more famously, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction. That was like a setup and a wrap-up.
Yeah.
It's a diner scene.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really well done.
Diner scenes are in a lot of movies where it's like it's either pre-job if it's a mafia movie,
Nightcrawler also.
or it's,
Nightcrawler,
or it's post traumatic
Reservoir
event.
Dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Also, what's that movie with Ben Foster in it? Where they rob banks.
Hell or High Water?
Hell or High Water.
I was gonna say Blank Check.
Ben Foster's in that.
He's the guy that hit the kid with the car.
I thought that was Sinbad.
No, that's Sinbad's the goon of the guy that hits him with the car. Come on, he plays Juice. No, I mean, I've never heard of that movie.
I have never seen it.
But yeah, that's really all I got. Like it's restrained in where it needs to be. It's a little over the top in some of the scenes, but overall,
at the end of the day, too, he was never really there.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I know. The whole time I was like, what does that mean?
I mean, he has no
Taxi Driver sang it, so it must mean something. Before we get into rankings and all that, ratings and all that stuff, I did really enjoy the score. I thought it was a little out of place in certain times, but I was like, this is cool.
It was like,
I'll dig it. Yeah, there was a part where it seemed like someone like taking samples of percussion street performers and just like throwing them all together.
It was very chaotic,
but
in moments.
It mimicked, I think, his feelings in a lot of the situations. When he felt out of control, the music was a little out of control.
I think,
and when he was on a mission, the music was very like synth pop drive style.
And even the synth pop, the pop, like literally the poppiness of it was like it worked fine, but when I was listening to it and watching, I was like, I feel like this would fit more in like a dark comedy, like Bernie with Jack Black, kind of movie.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, have it your way.
Because like it was weird because like this movie tonally is like really dark.
It's not upbeat at all.
And then even like the synth pop, it did have like minor or like it wasn't like major chords, you know. It was very like it was like it started off like and then it went like it sounded very dark. But it was just weird the genre, I guess, of but then we have like strings also.
Yep.
And he's like when he's out in the funeral scene, but like when he's burying his mom, I was like, this is very like serene, and
the whole movie was worth it for that scene for me.
Did you guys notice the lyrics that were playing in the pedophile compounds?
Oh, like the old song?
Yeah. Because I watched this movie with subtitles because it was kind of hard to hear a movie in some areas. So I was just, like, some of the lyrics were very just pedophilic. Like it was like, it definitely was like it creates this like creepy vibe.
Well, yeah, there's that, you know, they juxtapose the like old timey like what's his name, Tiny Tim's Tiptoe Through the Window.
Yeah.
And Insidious.
You sure? What song was it? Was it "You're Having My Baby" by Paul Anka? That's the creepiest song ever made, I think.
There's a lot of questionable.
Is that in
lyrics.
the movie?
No, it's not.
I was like, there's like old. It's like all old music.
It's much older than Paul Anka.
But yeah, so yeah, that's the end of the movie where he imagines himself killing himself, blowing his brains out, like Full Metal Jacket.
Really, is all just pilled out,
and he's just imagining himself because like everybody's covered in blood, nobody reacts, and even the waitress is still covered in blood when she hands him the check. It's like, thank you for coming. And
it's a normal thing. It's just a person who killed himself in this diner.
And
here's your check, asshole.
Yeah, and then he's just like zoning out on the table.
Yeah,
and
we've all been there.
That's the end of the movie, and then the credits roll at the empty diner table.
I thought that was really cool. I like that.
Directed by Lynn Ramsey.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's come to the end.
That's it.
What, rating time?
Yes.
I don't want to step on your episode, but you ready? I'm ready to. I'll give my rating.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a song I wanted to play during my rating.
Oh, okay.
It was the very end of the movie, and it was my favorite part of the movie because it was.
It's my favorite part of the movie because it ended.
No, it's just a fun song never heard before.
Well, look who's here. I haven't seen, but it really doesn't matter.
This is the tone that they had through all of, like, the creepy pedophile music.
Yeah.
If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake.
Yeah, this is the song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness sakes.
God, I got that song stuck in my head for like the next 5 hours after I watched the movie. Knew you were coming, I would better cook it.
All right, so what do you give this?
I'm not gonna be terribly kind to this movie. I didn't really enjoy it that much, and I think now that I know it was coming from the writer of or the director of We Need to Talk About Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love that movie either. There was some great individual scenes. It was like, holy shit, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and there was that in this movie too. Not nearly as uncomfortable, but just impactful, and you definitely feels the human emotion that you're not used to feeling. I think maybe that's her strong suit in her movies, but missed the mark a little bit with me. I think that the individual scenes, if taken as little vignettes, were impressive in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But as like it's like all the ingredients to make a great soup, and you taste it at the very end, it just is not your favorite.
Not salty enough.
Yeah, missing something. It's a little MSG and some leeks or something. But
bay leaf.
Yeah, throw some bay leaves in there. Right from your parents' backyard.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give this 3 out of 5. I almost gave it a 2.5 just because it didn't land with me, but it's not a bad movie. It's just it left me just wanting a little bit more. So I was thinking about in the context of the production of it, and it's an Amazon Studios movie.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like a kind of a low budget movie, and I was thinking this has probably got to be 3 million, 5 million, something like that, and it's 2.5 million, which is a pretty small budget for
all of it went to Joaquin.
Exactly, for a movie starring Joaquin Phoenix. He probably skimmed half of that for his paycheck.
Yeah,
at least.
He puts in the work though.
Yeah. I mean, he was very good, and you know, it's like if you're gonna have a character have an emotional breakdown after a situation, you really want to care about that character. And I didn't care too much about his character. You know, he wasn't anything that like resonated with me before I saw his plight. And they build that throughout the movie, and they get you there by the end of the movie. But it was too little, too late for me.
All right,
3 out of 5 for me.
I am actually gonna piggyback off of that rating too, and say this is a 3 out of 5 movie for me as well. I enjoyed this movie a lot. It's thought provoking while you're watching it. For at least for me, like I was thinking about it a lot. Like I was just like, oh man, like just inferring on my own headcanon about what he went through and what he's going through. And I like movies like that. I like it where you have to just infer on what you think is going on in the character's head. And so I think that this actually solidified it for me too, is that Amazon movies are way better than Netflix movies. Like I like Amazon
Hot take.
With Suspiria and with this movie, and I'm sure there's other ones that I've seen that were made by Amazon that I didn't realize, which actually is kind of a cool thing, because like I didn't know this was an Amazon production movie. Because with Netflix, they're like, this is a Netflix movie.
They push it pretty hard on their own platform before you even click on it.
Yeah. So it was very well done. I think it was just a fantastic movie. But at the same time, it's not like a culture iconic movie sort of thing, but it is like, it is a good movie. So, 3 out of 5, would recommend, high recommend, to watch this movie. Maybe not, there's not a whole lot of rewatchability, but if you watch it, you won't be disappointed that you watched it. So,
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, when I first ended this movie, when the credits started rolling, I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure, because I liked it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So right when it ended, I would have given it a 3. But thinking about it, thinking about the scenes, and reading some things about it. And just like thinking about the theme of the movie a little bit more, and how it's not just about like this one singular story. It's just kind of like a day in the life movie, where on this day in particular, he just happens to be like the case that broke him, or it's like the case of the missing girl. It's like his biggest, because it's like $50,000 was like the price that he was given.
He's like, I'm going into retirement next week. I just got one more case to do.
$50,000, you go into retirement?
One more job.
I'm gonna buy a used Lexus.
One last job, and I'm out of here. And but thinking about it, I bumped it up to a 3.5. I still am skeptical about the movie towing the line of like what to infer and what to like take from the movie. Like, is it being too
vague?
Yeah, too vague, or is it actually like provoking?
What do you want?
Provoking the thoughts in my head.
That's what I thought too. Like in the beginning, I was like, okay, this is way too vague. Way too vague. Like, why do I care?
Like in the middle of the movie, I'm like,
what is this? I 100% agree.
But I enjoyed it, and I'm like, I like the movie because I like the movie more because I'm thinking about it. That's what I look for in movies.
Yeah, it was
that I
impactful.
think about it after the movie. Whereas Veronica, it's over, and I'm like,
Hey, we're still talking about
I'm never
Veronica.
thinking about this movie again.
We're still talking
Guys,
about it.
I've only watched.
I thought about Greasy Strangler more than I thought about Veronica.
Oh, I'm sorry, Danzig.
Yeah, Danzig, forgive us. Yeah, and on that topic, sorry to hijack your little bit
It's
here
okay.
though, but I do. Me and Joseph were talking about this earlier today. I do think that I enjoyed the Greasy Strangler and it has more staying power than Veronica ever will.
Or Cats.
I think Cats was a
Wow.
better made movie, but after, I was turned off by The Greasy Strangler big time when I watched it, but after watching Veronica, I'm like, it wasn't that bad.
No, there are worse.
Maybe
movies.
old Tyler doesn't
Yeah,
have such a bad
The,
choice.
the acting wasn't bad in the movie, specific for that actual
Yeah,
movie
they just
itself.
playing to the material.
And it's just the settings and the practical effects.
It's just a very gross movie. Anyway, we're talking about the Greasy Strangler.
Yep.
So three and a half for You Were Never Really Here for me. I would recommend this movie. It is, I wouldn't say it's an easy watch, but it's a short watch. You won't be wasting your time at all watching this movie.
It's a good movie to watch with your morning coffee.
Really, really.
Which is what I did this morning.
Really good visuals and interesting music choices. Tonally, I think the movie was kind of all over the place.
Sure.
But in the excuse you, in the end, we got there, and I think I knew what to feel.
Yeah. It's simple, yet there's a lot of to infer, and but it's average. Like it's average. But it's not hard to watch. It's not a slog, and it doesn't drag.
And it's not as uncomfortable as you would think, because I thought this was going to be a rough movie.
It's funny. I went into this movie cold, having no idea what it was about. Like, didn't read the description, didn't even look at the poster. Just woke up,
Just closed my eyes and was scrolling through Amazon.
yeah, and I'm glad I watched it. So thanks for putting that on the.
Tyler, I like how at the beginning of the episode, this was your reaction.
I love this movie.
And now it's this.
This is certainly a movie. I am open to change, and I'm just being real. But I did love this movie. I didn't love this movie.
All right, have it your way.
Okay, there's a drop right there. We have to. Okay, we've elaborated more on the I love this movie.
I love this movie, but I didn't love this movie.
I love you, but I don't love you.
I like you.
It's like I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Awesome. Well, let me get the wheel.
It's time to move on to the Wheel of Destiny.
Really neat theme music for that. I've been trying to think of music that I myself could write, but
There we go. Wheel time.
wheel time.
Were those farts?
Yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wheel time.
All right. So let's. That was a wild card pick from Joseph.
For me.
Was Mac and Me?
Mac and Me.
Was there any connection?
Well, there is a kind of a connection.
Because Paul Rudd does a cameo in this movie. He's one of the pedophiles.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He's just playing his passion. I'm just kidding. Paul Rudd, don't sue me. So we've talked about replacing potentially some of the wild card selections with fan selections.
With listener suggestions.
Is that what we want to do?
Tyler, this is your wait.
This is Tyler's, yeah.
Yes, Tyler. Yeah, this is your pick. If you want to put a movie on of yours, you can.
I do want to, but I also I really like the idea of having our fans have a pick on the wheel. So
I'm down with it.
We have about 11 recommendations from
total
listeners.
Send more.
Yeah, we need more, but the recommendations we've gotten is...
Let's not go through all of them because
I'm not. I actually was going to keep it a secret.
Oh, perfect.
And I'm going to pick a MacGuffin for the fans.
Why don't we just put fan
Just
pick?
write fan pick on
that way
slot.
the fans know.
All right.
That
have it your way.
We haven't written them down and put them in a hat yet.
Yeah.
So
All right, have it your
I don't know
way.
how are we going to pick them at random.
Because we're just going to...
When it comes to that point, we'll figure that out.
It's got to land on it first.
Yeah, we'll number them 1 through 11 or whatever they are, and then we'll do a random dice roll.
By the way, listeners, these are great recommendations. I
know Muppets Take Manhattan. I really hope it lands on that one. All right, so fan pick. Okay, and then
we have one wild card still on there.
That's mine. It's mine.
So until that one gets landed on,
we'll probably replace that also with another fan pick.
It's remaining.
And it makes sense. We got all 3 of us have 2 selections, and the fans have 2 selections too.
Yep. It's 8 slots.
Okay, so running through the options on the wheel, we have the fan picks section. Super Mario Brothers from Tyler, The Fifth Element from Pete, The Lighthouse from Tyler, E.T. the Extraterrestrial from Pete, New York Minute starring Dr. Drew and the Olsen Twins, which is my
Gotta mention that every
wild
time.
card pick. Absolutely. Absolutely. Inner Space from Joseph, Last Black Man in San Francisco from Joseph. And
Here
we go. This is going to be our movie that we watch next week on episode 41.
Inner Space.
Oh.
Inner Space, back-to-back Joseph episode.
Oh my gosh, where's my phone?
Starring Martin Short.
Martin Short and Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. I thought it was Dennis Quaid, yeah.
And Meg Ryan.
It's basically an extended episode of Magic School Bus. Where they shrink
It's
down.
a live-action remake.
Yeah. And what's her name? Kathy Griffith plays Miss Frizzle.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, this is not streaming. I mean, it's streaming on Max Go, Cinemax. You can rent it on Fandango.
Fandango.
How much is it?
On Fandango?
Yeah.
It's $3. On Amazon, it's $4.
Jesus, Mary
And
Joseph.
YouTube, $4. I'm sure you can find it.
Yeah.
So yeah, starring Martin Short, Dennis Quaid, Meg Ryan, test pilot Tuck Pendleton, played by Dennis Quaid, volunteers to test a special vessel for a miniaturization experiment, accidentally injected into a neurotic hypochondriac, Jack Putter, Martin Short. He must convince Jack to find his ex-girlfriend, Lydia, played by Meg Ryan, to help him extract Tuck and his ship and re-enlarge them before his oxygen runs out inside of Martin Short's body.
Sci-fi comedy?
It's a comedy,
Just
yes,
a comedy
for sure.
comedy, just
I mean,
with sci-fi
it's,
elements.
Yeah, I guess it would be a sci-fi because I don't know if that technology exists yet.
I'm not sure.
It's plausible.
Yeah,
I think
it probably exists.
Just
the
we don't know.
government just doesn't want us to know.
Yeah.
Thanks, North Korea.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well,
Inner Space.
What year
Inner
is this?
Space. 1990, 87.
1990, 87.
I was 1 year old.
I was -5 years old.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, you know, I've always been
I was
here.
I was just a
I'm
twinkle.
yeah.
Tyler, you were never really here.
I was never really here, but at the same time, I wish I was here.
All right, so until next time. Episode 41 next week when we review Inner Space starring...
Oh, fuck, I forgot. Yeah, episode 40.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Hold on one second. We need to...
Stop the music.
Episode
40.
Where is this thing here? Did I pass it?
This one?
Yeah, double digits.
Yeah, we've come so far.
Double digits.
Come so far.
We have 12 episodes until we hit our 1 year mark.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that we will probably have something special planned for that one.
Yeah, we're gonna be wearing tuxedos. You guys just gonna have to take our word for it.
I'll be wearing a dickie.
I'm gonna wear spats. So, anyways, next episode 41, we're gonna watch Inner Space and do a deep dive review on that. Some streaming picks, all the goodies. And so, until then, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast. Send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com, and follow Tyler on our Instagram @middleclassfilmclass.
Yes. Send me
It's
your
a one-man meme machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Crank them out. Crank them out.
Follow me on Instagram and send me your movie recommendations and
Please recommend our show to your friends and family, and on iTunes, comment and review.
force it down their throats.
Yes, please. And thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
All right. See you later.
Don't be so modest, Show me some ankle.